Hey, so I hope you're still enjoying being home. I know I'm enjoying being able to spend some more time with my daughter, cutting out the commute and everything. But let's make sure that we can actually go ahead and work on this assignment that I gave you guys for yesterday, and also look at expanding this in a few different ways. So first, I asked you to basically create a clear image button here. So let's just let's make sure that we can actually add it and that it looks accurate. That's this line we need to do. So we can add this clear button. Let's make sure that it looks right. When we run this, we've got file. Now we do have a clear image button, which this clear image button does nothing because we have added no action listener. So we know that we can do that by creating an action listener, which we have to define a class for. So I'm going to say this ClearClick. And for now, so Britton sent me an email he had really good points that he was trying to model his ClearClick based off of some of these other ones. Like I think he probably had open confirm click or something like that, where it sent in, he was looking at test click, where it sent in a bunch of parameters. So let's just leave this as having no parameters for now. We will end up needing to send parameters in, but for now, I think it just makes sense to say, let's just pretend like there's not even a constructor, there's no parameter. We just know that we need a ClearClick class that implements action listener. So let me create a new class. And it's ClearClick is what it's called. We don't need to have a main in it or anything. All right. When we have ClearClick, we know that this needs to implement action listener, which means we're going to need to import that from .event or java.awt.event. So now we can see, all right, we have an error. This error actually tells us what we need to implement. It says it must implement the inherited abstract method actionListener.actionPerformed. So we know that we need to create public void action performed, and it pulls in an action event. And I'm just going to call that E. We don't even necessarily need that, but it has to be passed in regardless. So we've now got this right here. We could now run our project, and now ClearClick will run action performed. It just action performed does nothing. I could actually make this say, like, for example, system.out.print. Why did I capitalize that? Print ln action. And I've got my console down here, run that, and then when we click clear image, it will print there. So we know that's working. That's good. Give myself a little more space again. All right, so once we have this, we can, gotta make sure, yeah, for a second I thought I wasn't recording. With this, we know that we need to do something with this main screen, but unfortunately main screen isn't accessible in ClearClick because it's a private thing. That should have been in there before. Bad coding. All right. Now that those are, did I do that over here? All right, that's private, that's private, that's private, those are private. I just forgot on the main one. But because that's private, we can't access it in ClearClick. The obvious solution here is to actually include it as a parameter. So let's go ahead and make an attribute. Main screen is a JLabel. So we've got private JLabel. I'm just going to call it main screen again. And then we have to include JLabel. think there's a way to say like Alt-Enter or something, and it automatically will include those things. I just don't know it off the top of my head, the hotkey. We've got also, we need a constructor, public. There's no output type for a constructor. We just immediately use the class name, ClearClick. And then let's pass in a JLabel. I'll just call it MS. And then we've got main screen equals MS. Now we can pass that in. Of course, our project will no longer compile, hence the red X there, because we didn't pass that in. So let's go ahead and pass that in to resolve that problem. So here we've got an error in our constructor because, as it says, add an argument to match ClearClick JLabel. So we don't pass in a new JLabel, we pass in main screen. Did I call it menu screen over there? No, main screen. All right, now let's test to make sure it compiles. It does. When we click clear image, nothing happens, of course, but we should be able to do things with it now. Let's try main screen dot. And I still didn't look up to see what this is. Not reset keyboard actions, not reset. How about set? Well, what about icon? It's something. Set icon, get icon. I can get icon and then dot. Oh, I could maybe disable it or something because it said get disabled icon. I'll just say main screen dot set icon and then new icon. Can I do that? Cannot instantiate the type icon. Image icon. Oh, we'd have to do image icon. Let's see if this works. It's creating a new image icon. It might flip an error or it might not. I honestly don't know. Let's try it. First of all, let's open an image. Okay, I had a file name to a cute, just generic autumn image. And then let's try clear image, and it seems like it worked, where we created a new icon with no image associated with it, set the icon to that. So clear image appears to work. Again, we can, why does that say no image file found? Oh, because I'll show you what's going on. I had a hunch this was happening. All right, clear image, let's test it one more time, and it did. Interestingly, this file directory still has this information in it because when we look at test click and open confirm, it really just sets visible, or it basically keeps the same object. It doesn't destroy it and create a new, what am I looking for? Open click maybe? It doesn't create a new frame every time open click is activated. It creates that frame during the construction of open click. So open click gets created once and then it just sets the frame to visible and sets the frame to invisible. So it's actually the same window that opens up multiple times. If I run it again, if I have open image and I want to have something here, and then I open image again, this is the same window that appeared before. It was made invisible and then made visible again. So And in fact, it's creating more of that. That is awful. Oh man. Okay, so what that tells me I need to do is change OpenClick and take all of this construction stuff and put it into this up here. I think this is fine. So it only constructs once. Or do we want to... Let's make it construct every time. I think this is still fine. Because I don't think we call getFrame before it's actually created. So let's go ahead and run this and see if it has the same silliness. Let me get my image. Test file, image file found, okay. Clear image, open image, it created a new one. We could tell just by the fact that it launched it up in the corner, right? And I had to move it again. And perfect. All right, there is one other thing I wanted us to do today. I wanted us to look at maybe getting started on doing the image editing thing that we talked about before. So I want to change the bottom to have like color buttons. We don't yet need to worry about mouse listeners and everything like that. We saw a little bit of that before, but I don't have it here with me on my computer, and I never sent it to you guys. So instead, let's stick to action listeners and buttons, and let's just make some buttons that do that are red, green, and blue, and that maybe they change a string somewhere in here to have a different color, or maybe there's a color object that can be changed. Maybe that's what we do. So let's do private color, and we don't need to default it to anything. Let's just make it called chosen color, or maybe pen color for when we actually make it a pen. And then let's see, what do we want to do? We need to create new buttons down here. So something I thought might be interesting to do is go back and add a panel like we had before. Or not like we've had before, but like the example we were looking at previously had. So let's say JPanel bottom panel equals new JPanel, and then let's go ahead and immediately add the component info readout, just because I want that to be included in the panel. And then let's create another JButton. We made those over here, see, for example. Let's make another JButton, and we'll call it button red equals new JButton. And I don't think it needs to say anything. I think we can just have it be the color red. So let's make it button red dot set. Is there a set background color? Yeah. And then I'll tell you how to make red, new color, and then red. It's red, green, blue, and it goes from 0 to 255. The reasoning between 0 to 255 is because 256 is 8 bits, right? It's 2 to the 8th, 2 to the 8th, 2 to the 7th. I need to say this right. 2 to the 8th is 256, yeah. So that means that an 8-bit number can have states between 0 and 255. That's 256 different states. So 255 is like the highest 8-bit number. So it's full red, RGB. 0 green, 0 blue. And let's kind of do the same. Oh, we need to add it. Bottom panel dot add button red. And then let's do the same here for these other ones. So we've got, let's do, how about green, button green. I'll just write out green. And then this is going to be 0 to 55, 0, add button green, button blue equals new J button, and that's going to be 0, 0 to 55, button blue, and I also want to do a black and white. Button black. So black has, this is considered a constructive color thing. So unlike paint, where you are eliminating colors when you mix it, so it's everything mixed together, black is no light together. So black is 0, 0, 0. And I think that's called either additive and subtractive or constructive and destructive, maybe either one. Button white then is going to be all of the colors of light, right? White light is all of the colors. And we've got button black and button white, all of these added together. So now let's, instead of info readout, put bottom panel on the bottom. And so now this should be somewhat more complicated. All right, we've got buttons, and all of their colors are wrong. I tested this right before I recorded, and this did not happen. Why is it looking? So 255.00, button red, set background. Am I calling the right? Oh, set background color is what it should be. There's a background color. All right, that's the problem. Nope. I thought that was it. Button red dot set background. No, it's just set background. This worked previously. All right, 0 to 255, red, green, blue. Button black, button blue, red, green, blue, black, white. All the buttons are there, we can see. Button red, button red, button red, that's my problem. All right, I'm sure some of you guys noticed that and were just screaming at your screen as I did this. Oh boy. So it changed the first one to white. And now, all right, now we've got red, green, blue, black, white. So now what I want you guys to do is take what we just saw about creating, what am I trying to say? What we just saw about creating classes with action listeners. And I want you guys to basically make all of these action listeners for these 5 change pen color to the appropriate color, right? So for red, I want it to be, if you called the constructor color, 255.00. And then once we have pen color, I'm going to just assume you guys can do that by tomorrow. And I think that maybe we'll actually start drawing on our image tomorrow. Thanks, and good luck.